First at 4, the man accused of killing a construction worker and not stopping faces a judge. The life story of the man who died makes this tragedy especially hard to comprehend. Also, a new demand from Breonna Taylor's family.
Release the transcript. Release the transcript.
It's the first time the family has spoken out since the decision about charges. Why this demand is so important. Michigan lawmakers make a change that could help speed up election results. And Ben is working on the weekend forecast.
We sure are, Jason. Forget the calendar. We're getting a bonus summer weekend. So how much longer can these 80s possibly last? Check it out for you right now. First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good Friday afternoon, everybody. I'm Jason Colthorpe in for Karen Drew today. First at 4, we're learning more about the man accused in a deadly hit and run on I-94. 51-year-old Martin Dwayne Smith of Harper Woods is charged with 2 counts of failing to stop at a deadly accident. He was in court this afternoon and his bond was set at $25,000. The judge also ordered random drug and alcohol testing. Smith is accused of killing construction worker Zach Morissette of Chesterfield earlier this week. Morissette was 26 and had survived cancer 3 times as a child. He was hit while working on I-94 near 9 Mile. His funeral will be held tomorrow in New Baltimore. Today, Breonna Taylor's family spoke publicly for the first time since a grand jury decided against indicting police officers in her shooting. Supporters are angry and say they've lost faith in the legal system.
Enough is enough, America. Enough is enough, America.
They also had a message for Kentucky's Attorney General. Devin Skillion is in the newsroom with more on this. And Devin, her family wants transparency, frankly.
Yeah, Jason, they want the Attorney General, David Cameron, to release the transcript of the grand jury proceedings. Now, those are generally kept private, but elected officials like Kentucky's governor and the mayor of Louisville have joined in the calls to release them.
Breonna Taylor's entire family is heartbroken, devastated, and outraged, and confused, and bewildered, just like all of us, as to what did Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron present to the grand jury? Did he present any evidence on Breonna Taylor's behalf?
On Wednesday, of course, a grand jury indicted a former Louisville officer on wanton endangerment charges for firing into a neighboring apartment. There were no direct charges handed down for Taylor's death. Today, Taylor's aunt read a letter on behalf of Breonna's mother.
Cameron alone didn't fail her, but it ended with the lack of investigation failed her. The officer who told a lie to obtain a search warrant failed her. The judge who signed the search warrant failed her. The terrorist who broke down her door failed her. The system as a whole has failed her. You didn't just rob me of my family, you robbed the world of a queen.
Family's attorney says they are now counting on a federal investigation for justice. Activists say protests are going to continue until the officers have been charged in Taylor's death. 24 people were arrested during protests last night, and the city of Louisville has extended a curfew now into the weekend. We've got more on it coming up here on Local 4 News at 5. Jason, back to you.
All right, Devin, we'll see you then. A week-long salute to Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is coming to an end.
Know each quiet act of dignity is that which fortifies the soul of a nation.
That's opera singer Denise Graves, who was a friend of Ginsburg's. She performed during the ceremony, bringing the justice's casket to the U.S. Capitol. Ginsburg became the first woman and first person of Jewish descent to lie in state. Former Vice President Joe Biden and his wife were among those paying their respects. Rabbi Lauren Holtzblatt urged all of us to continue Ginsburg's legacy.
Even as our hearts are breaking, we must rise with her strength and move forward. She was our prophet, our North Star, our strength for so very long. Now she must be permitted to rest after toiling so hard for every single one of us.
Justice Ginsburg will be laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery in a private service next week. President Trump has said he will make his pick to replace Ginsburg tomorrow. Ginsburg told her granddaughter in her final days she'd like the winner of November's election to make that choice, but the president and Republicans are ready to move ahead. And right now, Democrats don't have the votes to stop a confirmation. Michigan lawmakers have taken steps that could make election night go a little more smoothly. That'll be November 3rd. Right now, election officials cannot even open absentee ballots until 7 a.m. on Election Day. A new bill that just passed the legislature would allow them to open ballots on November 2nd in cities with at least 25,000 people. However, the ballots cannot actually be counted and must remain in those secrecy sleeves. Governor Whitmer says she supports the bill, but didn't give us a timetable about signing it. The battle over when to end the 2020 census is still being fought, but right now it will continue a few more weeks. A federal judge has ruled the national count should continue through the end of October. She said ending the count at the end of this month could lead to inaccurate results. The census decides how $1 trillion in federal spending is split among the states. By the way, if you haven't filled out your form, you should get that done as soon as possible. Attorneys for the Department of Commerce said they are likely to appeal, so this end date could possibly change again. All right, let's get to today's first forecast. We've been talking about it getting into this warm weekend, and I got two words for Ben Bailey. Carpe diem, Ben.
I thought you were going to just say tea time. That would be
that's a good one, too.
Second guess. But yeah, we're going to have a beautiful weekend. We did not use up all the good stuff during the work and school week. We're going to carry it forward at least to the next couple days. Current temperatures gorgeous out there. 81, the warm spot in Adrian. A lot of upper 70s elsewhere. Just a hint of a wind. The air is still relatively dry, but believe it or not, the sun, or the humidity, I should say, is coming back just a little bit this weekend. So still summer-like through Sunday. Next week, though, the rain chances really get going. We've got plenty of that, and the colder air is moving in. We're going to go from 10 degrees above average to 10 plus degrees below into next week. We'll show you how long that's going to hold on in just a few minutes. Jason?
All right, Ben, sounds good. Seize the day, people. Seize the day right now. We just received the new numbers from the state on the coronavirus situation in Michigan. Health officials report another 929 new cases. That number is slightly down from yesterday, but it pushed the total to more than 120,000 since the outbreak began. We've also lost more Michiganders as the virus claimed another 8 lives. The total number of deaths has now passed 6,700. Surviving cancer is both a physical and mental battle for patients and those who love them. An international charity called Twist Out Cancer provides support for those engaged in that battle, including some who have lost the fight. Local 4's Kim DeGiulio looks at how art can provide some healing help.
Over the past 4 months, 23 artists from the GM Design Center have spent their off hours creating artwork for a cause.
I spent the whole summer, kind of like just navigating these pieces and my process and what they were really going to be, and talking to my inspirations about them and connecting with my inspirations about them. So I like to say that this has kind of become a lifestyle for me.
Kara Thomas and Jeffrey Frege were both matched up with individuals to create meaningful pieces of art for tonight's virtual Brushes with Cancer program.
So it's a part of the Twist Out Cancer organization where they use creative arts as a means to provide healing to inspiration and artists.
Jeffrey worked with a man who lost his wife to cancer.
So my piece of artwork is a digital illustration. It is, the purpose of that piece of art is to illustrate the woman that died. Her name was Beth. In our time together, Steve and I had learned that he did not get a chance to read the eulogy he put together for his wife at the funeral. And so my illustration is picture of Beth, and then over top of it has the eulogy.
Working on this piece, representing the death of a wife to cancer, was all too familiar for Jeffrey, as he too was an inspiration for another artist who created a piece to represent Jeff's wife, who he lost last year to stomach cancer.
And my 2 daughters side by side next to me were holding hands, and there's a picture of the family in the foreground in color. You'd have to see, I can show you, it's monochromatic. The sky is colorful. The photograph of the family is in color. And Taurus wanted to illustrate the strength that I had for my children.
Tickets are still available for the virtual exhibition. It starts tonight at 7 p.m. There you can learn more about the artists and the inspiration behind their artwork. And the artwork will remain on display until October 30th. After that, it'll be auctioned off. I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
Proceeds, by the way, from the auction will go right back into the program to help more people around the world. We have some news just into the newsroom. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has announced bowling alleys and movie theaters both will reopen on October 9th. Stick around, we'll have more on that coming up on Local 4 News at 5. Still ahead on the 4, a royal baby is on the way. We'll talk about who's expecting and who's about to be a grandfather for the first time. Also, could this small plane change the way we fly? The connection between a short flight and climate change, that's ahead. But up first, it's a rare apology from Kim Jong-un. Why the North Korean dictator is sorry and the response that apology is receiving. All those stories and more right after the break. Stick around.